Hello and welcome back to Cooking with Paris. I know my videos aren't as consistent as they were. I am a bit sick, so you guys, if you can excuse that for me. Today we are actually going to be making stir fry with some rice, and we're going to make our cornbread from our Jiffy. So you won't see much of me in the video because once again, like I said, I'm sick. Um, I'll try my best, but I will show the important part of the cooking methods for sure. So, let's get started. So, what you're gonna need is some peppers, orange, yellow, and green, and an onion, and we're gonna slice those down. Alright, so next once you're done cutting up your onions and bell pepper, this is what it should look like. You're gonna put it in a skillet with 2 tablespoons of butter, and we're gonna cook it down. Once it's cooked down, we're gonna add some minced garlic. I like to season my vegetables with my favorite seasoning, you guys already know, and that's gonna be our McCormick seasoning. I'm also going to season it with some onion powder and garlic powder as well while it cooks down. Okay, so with the meat, I cooked it in a crock pot. I got the stir fry meat, and it's normally tough whenever I cook it on the stove, so I slow cooked it in the crock pot for 6 hours. No, I didn't add any seasoning or anything. I just boiled it in regular water. The seasonings that I'm going to use in our gravy and everything that we're making on the stove is what we're going to add to the meat. I'm going to transfer it from the crock pot to a bowl, and then we're going to season it, and I'll show you the seasonings there. I do want to mention, guys, the crock pot step for the meat isn't a step that you have to take. You can cook your meat like normal if you like. However, whenever I cook my meat on the stove, it tends to cook really fast and be really tough. So that's why I want to slow cook it in the crock pot to have my meat as tender as possible when I make my stir fry. So to our meat, I added some caramel onion butter, some of our McCormick seasoning, cornstarch, and then some of that garlic and onion powder that we added earlier. After we season our vegetables really well, I'm going to throw in actually 3 tablespoons of butter because we're also going to cook our broccoli in the pot, skillet, or whatever this is called as well. So I do prefer to use fresh broccoli, so you're just going to cut the top of the broccoli off, and then you're just going to add it in the skillet as well. I didn't season it because once the butter starts melting, everything is just going to get kind of covered with the season anyway. I'll also taste it and make sure it's good and covered. If not, I'll just add a little more seasoning. So I did add a little bit of avocado oil, just a little bit, to the meat so everything can stick well. This is what it looks like after I season it, and now I'm going to get in there and get everything covered before we add it to our skillet. So I also want to mention for our sides, I'm going to just do the regular yellow rice in this big container. My kids love it. And for bread, I'm just going to use a box of Jiffy. So with our broccoli, you guys, this is what it looks like. I had another one because it didn't feel like it was a lot. I just used 1 stalk. We're going to use 2, and you guys can also use 2 if you want. However big your family is. We really love our broccoli, so that's why I'm going to use 2. And you just cut here. You see where the tree starts? I just cut the broccoli there, like that. And they all fall apart. And whenever little ones like this, I just go back in and cut those individually so I can have as much broccoli as I need. I want to save all of it. And I just cut the hard parts at the bottom. See? I don't leave it that long. Cut it like that. And then I already washed it, you guys, so you guys don't freak out. And you just cut it like that. You see how this is long? We're going to cut that off. So I go as close as I can to the top, and I just cut them down like that, and they break apart, giving me more broccoli. And for the ones who didn't know how to cut or cook fresh broccoli, like me when I first saw it, that's all it takes. So you guys, we have the oven on a medium heat with our vegetables all in the skillet with the seasoning and our butter melting. As the butter melts, I'm going to stir everything using my tongs just to make sure everything is saturated with the butter as well as getting covered with the seasoning that's already in the pan. Once again, if we need some more, we'll just go back in and reseason. But for now, this is all we're going to use. So with the yellow rice, as you guys know, no measurements, of course. Sorry, camera was not in focus. All I do is just cover the bottom of a skillet and or boiler. I use a skillet because it's wider. And then I add water and let it cook for 10 minutes. It's just like regular rice. Cover it just like that. Now, also, I wanted to mention, while the broccoli and vegetables cook, I did cover it so it can retain moisture, just so it won't burn. After letting it cook, once the vegetables get a little soft, I'm going to go ahead and add my minced garlic. You already know I use this minced garlic here. We just are going to add a heaping teaspoon and mix it all together. You can see the bottom is getting a little dark. Things are starting to swirl. That's okay. What I'm going to do to suffice is I'm just going to pour some of my beef broth in just to keep it a little moist because that butter couldn't. Nothing burned. Nothing burned. Okay, because my butter was still a bit tough. Oh my god. Because my broccoli was still a bit tough, you guys, I did change my mind. Added butter instead of the beef broth. And I added the meat. So the cornstarch and butter can go ahead and mix together before we pour our beef broth on to make that gravy thick. I also taste everything. It's not too salty. I just wanted to make sure because I wanted to add a little soy sauce to the dish. And that's what I'm doing here. Just covering everything in some soy sauce. Don't overdo it because soy sauce is a bit salty. I'm also going to go in with a cap full, the cap that's on the bottle, full of seasoned rice vinegar. I mix everything around really good, and then I'm going to give it another 5 minutes of stir-fry cooking with the top on, and then we're going to go in with our beef broth. Alright, so this is the beef broth that I'm using. Once everything is cooked down to your liking and the broccoli is soft, just going to go in and pour beef broth in. Just enough to cover the bottom. Just like that. Also going to add some of this Worcestershire flavored sauce. If your sauce don't thicken or look like it starts to thicken, that means you need some more cornstarch. You can see instantly my sauce is already thickening. That here, I would say with the Worcestershire sauce, I added 2 tablespoons of the Worcestershire sauce. Now that everything is starting to thicken up, I'm going to turn my heat down to about a 3, and I'm going to taste everything to make sure it doesn't need any more seasoning. So I did go in with a dash of salt and a little bit more of the McCormick seasoning. Alright guys, and I plated our rice, bread, and stir fry. Here's what it looks like. Now for our favorite part. Alright, so we're going to taste it together, you guys. I'm sorry, I'm so stuffy. Oh, I love broccoli. I wanted to show you guys what I made by this meat. About how tender it is. Like, you can cut it with the fork. Like, it's really tender. If you have a tough time with cooking your stir-fry meat, like I did, with cooking on the stove, I highly suggest slow cooking it in a crock pot for 6 hours. It really does soften the meat, you guys. This is amazing, you guys. I'm gonna go eat. Thanks for watching. Everybody who's subscribed, thanks for subscribing, you guys. Hope you enjoy the channel. If you have any ideas of what you want to cook next, leave a comment. And thanks, you guys. Bye.